Hello, probers.
Howdy, howdy.
Welcome to extraterrestrial.
Welcome to Extraterrestrial Towers. It's now a place.
Welcome to But It Was Aliens, the extraterrestrial comedy podcast that boasts the tallest host in the world.
Oh, no.
Who will be welcoming a beautiful child into the world named Sweet Little Baby Elton.
Sweet baby Jesus.
Probers, before we start, I would like to share some facts about my best friend.
Oh, friend! Oh, new friend! Oh, friend! Please be my friend! Oh, friend!
And co-host.
Oh, no.
His beard, grey and glorious as it is, could do with a trim. He could wipe a country off the map if he turns too quickly. It is said that if you listen carefully at 3 a.m. on the dot, you can hear the rustling as he scratches his nether regions. I don't know if this is true, but what I do know is he is Kevin the Grey.
That's all I've got to offer. It's turning into like a wrestling entrance where you're announcing all my accomplishments in life, except they're not really accomplishments, are they?
They are full accomplishments. I'm going to do this every single episode now. Like, it's no longer a will he, won't he? He will. But what will it be?
I'm going to retaliate once on your birthday, and it's all going to be factual things you've done.
Could be the end of the podcast. Whilst Kevin stands back and co-hosts today, I am your main driver for this car crash of a probe. Granny Moodwalker. And I really shouldn't do that with my voice.
That voice is going to cut out before the end of the episode. I'm going to have to take over. And I'm going to be going off-road.
If you've never heard our show before, each week we take it in turns to bring you a case involving the extraterrestrial. And on occasion, something completely different. The co-host sits back and generally hears the case for the first time, just like some of you. And at the end, we decide whether or not it really was extraterrestrial or if it was just bullshit.
So this week, I was going to say in this week of the podcast, I am your voice, folks. Sorry. You're shit out of luck.
So without further ado, let's get probing.
Let's get probing, baby. Sweet baby. Oh, baby.
Sweet baby Jesus. Today's case takes us to the US of A.
All right, let's hear some enthusiasm. I'm sorry, continue.
And an incident involving a family of falcons. Thank you.
I don't know what a falcon sounds like, but pretty much it's not like that.
This family of falcons were making their way to Florida. And the witness for this account is Celestian Falcon, which I must say is a fucking great name.
Celestian? That's interesting.
Celestian's father was in the military, which unfortunately for most families in the military means moving quite a lot.
Yeah.
Now, this can be annoying for most kids when they're in high school or junior high. I have no idea how the American school system works. I could have looked it up, but it's not really too relevant to the story because Celestian wasn't in school. He was 4.
Oh, I was going to be like, he's a rebel. Doesn't need school. He knows it all already. No, he's a child. Young child.
Very young child. Anyway, I digress. The family of falcons were moving to Florida. As they did, Mama Falcon let out a scream. baby Chewie. Sweet little baby Chewie.
Baby Chewie.
Soon they would see what caused the sudden screech. Roughly 200 yards behind them was a UFO.
Are you goddamn FO?
Mama Falcon continued to squawk as the object got closer. The underside had large beaming red lights that directed that light towards the ground, and from what we could only describe as windows shone another light. This isn't like a typical incident where they were the only car on the road. Oh no. Multiple automobiles were on the road, Grey Nuts.
Ooh, witnesses.
And they did what most would do in this situation. Realised that the UFO was following one particular car, so they swerved off the road and stopped. Or put their foot to the floor and sped past them.
They didn't want none of that smoke.
The Falcons also continued to fly down the road. Then the engine started to splutter before it completely stopped. Papa Falcon checked his rear view mirror and his wing mirrors before reaching for his gun and getting out of the car.
Ah, you've just taken me off my trail of thought there. Why has he got to hold a gun?
He's in the military.
So? He's not on
First
duty,
response.
is he? There's no need
Fight
for
or
a
flight.
gun.
It's his muscle memory right now.
Popping and locking.
Going off instinct.
So prior to that last line there, all these Falcon and flying comments have given me the image of, is it Rita from Zelda? The species
With
of
the grey hair?
the flappy birdie things. The Rito. Sorry, Rito.
You said Zelda and I thought Power Rangers. I'm really sorry because you said Rita.
How dare you?
So I just went Rita Repulsa from Power Rangers.
Oh, crikey. No, the Rito, sorry. I was getting my words mixed up. Rito Village. I've got an image of the Rito in a plane. You keep on talking about being like flying down the road and whatnot, and I'm thinking of a plane going in the air. Very, very confusing.
So Papa Falcon gat strapped and ready to shoot or throw a Falcon punch
Falcon
squared up to the UFO.
And threw a Falcon punch, as I can see in your research notes. That's not a good idea, is it? You're going violence first. They might have just wanted to make friends and you're about to piss them off and make them change their mind.
True.
How many times have we covered on this podcast aliens just wanting to make a little bit of love? They're lovers, not fighters, more often than not. And you're just going to antagonise one of these mother truckers who's got technology way beyond anything you could ever dream of.
Bad idea.
Bird brain.
It seemed like as soon as he did this,
About to get his egg cracked.
the UFO went for him. Papa Falcon weren't ready for these games. He jumped straight back in the car and tried to start the engine over and over.
He effed around, but he didn't want to find out.
Like any mother would, Mama Falcon dove into the back to protect her baby and shield him from what was about to happen. But Celestian could see out the back window.
Oh.
It looked like another car was close to them and it was being targeted too. The driver of this vehicle looked to be stuffing a female into the boot.
What?
Before he was
Arrest them!
surrounded by multiple creatures at around 5 foot tall.
Massive.
This driver decided he would try to fight the beings and took a tire iron and tried to attack them. Before he could muster up a swing, the creature nearest to him pulled out a silver-looking rod and touched him with it. This immediately paralyzed him.
Got the magic stick.
And they proceeded to wrap him in what looked like silver blankets and then took him into their craft,
He got wrapped.
which was hovering above them. This scene was not over yet. A bright light then burst into the Falcon's car, and then a strange hand reached in and pulled Celestian out of the vehicle.
He got wrapped and took a reach around.
The next time Celestian opened his eyes, he was inside of the spacecraft.
Can I ask some questions?
No. He looked around and realised that he'd been separated from his parents. They were in the same room, but whilst they were grouped together, he was on his own. His mother was in hysterics and trying to move towards him. Either she suffered from a mental break or they pumped her full of something. She couldn't get to him though, as the creatures were forcing them back. The creature holding them back was allegedly truthfully reptilian in nature and took Celestian out of the room and down a set of stairs to a large room. We've covered quite a few abductions in the past. Can you guess what's in this room? You can play along at home too. A control room. B, a slabbing table. C, glass tubes with naked humans. Or D, glass tubes with unidentified creatures.
B, slabbing.
There are a bunch of windows at one side of the room, and in the middle of this room was a slabbing table.
Hey!
But what was worse than that, if there is anything worse than that,
There is.
is that underneath these windows were multiple jars containing what appeared to be human fetuses.
Ah, this picture is unnecessary. You didn't need to show me it. Is that from like a horror film or something?
I have no idea.
Because it looks weirdly familiar, and I'm hoping that's a film and not something from my private life.
I searched human fetus in a jar.
Yeah, that's horrific. Can I just rewind back to the person putting a lady in their boot? Why has that not been looked at more? That's a crime.
That it is.
And everyone just went, they saw that and just moved on.
I'm gonna say something at the end,
Okay.
so we'll get to that.
I hope we do.
Well, I suppose we won't get to that, but we'll get to what I think about that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Also, we had a case of getting wrapped and rodded. I quite like that. I don't know that we've had a wrapping before.
I wonder if that's because he's paralysed, maybe it's an easier way for them to
Like wrapping up someone in the
body,
carpet.
or to keep the body warm whilst it's being transported.
Yeah.
Same way,
Blanket.
yeah, foil blankets.
Either way, I like it. It feels a little bit like getting slabbed. You got wrapped. And then magic sticked.
You're foil wrapped.
But if you're taken by aliens, I think there's probably two things that you really don't want to see when you're taken into a room.
Needles and a table.
Three things that you really don't want to see. Needles, things in jars, and sex toys. Graham was like, I'd like to see the sex toys.
I was about to say...
I'd like to do a bit of investigating for the good of mankind, humankind.
Things in jars would depend on what's in the jar.
Well,
Like
human-esque
if I see things in jars like human ears or
I was going to say
eyeballs
human
or...
heads on dog bodies and that kind of thing, Mars Attack style, where they've just been messing around just for shits and giggles. What would this look like?
Yeah, you wouldn't want to see that.
You don't want to walk in and there's just a bunch of experimentation clearly going on and you're next.
While Celestian looked around the room, he noticed that other creatures were walking in and out of doorways at the end of the room, which he believes now could have been walk-in refrigerators.
So they're keeping the meat fresh. That's something else you don't want to see. Not as bad as the jars and the sex toys, but still not pleasant. What would an alien sex toy look like? Like an octopus dildo.
Could just be a cube.
A cube with holes in it?
Just a cube. Maybe they
that you
put the
rub like a
cube-
furry wall.
Maybe they put the cube in, and the cube spins around whilst it's in. Works on like a gyro system.
Finds the right bit.
The more they groove, the more it gyro.
Gyro groove.
Gyro dildo. Might be onto something.
I mean, of the two rooms, you've got a room full of toys and a room full of jars. Which one are you going to go in? take me in the one with the gyro thing. Yeah, it's fine.
Just like us, Celestian's concentration was broken. But unlike us, it wasn't talking about gyro dildos. It was when his mother was brought into the room. She was placed on a slab table, and a large needle was brought out, and she was probed with it.
Oh no.
Whatever was in the needle was used to sedate her. He was then taken into another room.
Oh no.
In this room was a control panel, and also two, not one greybeard, two green reptilian aliens.
Oh shit, we're definitely coming in there.
Probably. Have you got the image of
Yes.
the two reptilians? Has that moved as well?
I've just moved them, so what the hell? Okay, so that looks like Jar Jar Binks. Yeah, I am looking at two Jar Jar Binks-esque lizard things. Miss, I go probe you. Jar Jar been mating with Yoda, apparently.
Apparently so.
Deep.
Coming from a room to his left, he heard terrifying screams. First from a female, and then a male. They were screaming for help, saying they were being attacked by monsters.
That's not funny.
Celestian could hear the ruckus going on. There were bangs, now intermingled with the screams.
Oh, Jesus Christ, what's going on?
The two creatures in the room with Celestian responded by pressing something which resembled an emergency button.
Oh, baby.
Sweet baby Jesus. A door opened, and sweet baby Jesus.
Came out.
And more creatures came running.
Running?
They entered the other room, and everything went quiet.
I've got no idea what's happening here. I mean, I'm just going with it, but very, very confused about what's going down in that other room.
Shortly after this, two more aliens walked in the room. These aliens were in spacesuits with space helmets. The exact ones you're thinking of.
Hey.
These creatures were greys and had large heads, but large round human eyes.
Ah, and we've got a picture of Grey here. Muscly little mother trucker.
Yes.
Got abs.
Been hitting the gym,
Butch.
getting his
Stacked.
protein in.
This is a handsome Grey. Wrinkly chin like Thanos. He's almost got a ball chin. But still,
Do you think...
this Grey has seen... Maybe that's where the gyro goes.
I was about to say, do you think that
Swallow
chin
it.
is a sign of power? Like, the more wrinkly ballsack chin you have, the more power you have on the earth.
No, I don't
Or in
think
the
it's
universe.
I don't think it's like an orangutan flange of dominance. I think it's...
Each wrinkle is a measurement of power.
No, I think it's genitals. I think it's exactly what it looks like.
One of the greys was holding a strange silver box. And if you thought that this couldn't get any crazier, you were wrong. Next to enter the room is a human dressed in a skin-tight black suit with some strange symbols on it and a V-shaped hat on his head.
The Gimp is back from that New Year's Eve episode.
This man,
The
according
shitcrawler.
to Celestian, was Spanish, 6 foot tall, and had a short cut beard.
So they've got a 6-foot Spanish Gimp, basically. What's going on?
Oh, what do you call them?
Gimps. They're called Gimps. Goatee?
Do you remember the film Desperados?
Yeah. vaguely.
What were the guitarists called?
Yeah, no idea.
Because
Guitarists.
the only word that's coming into my head is matador, and it's not a matador.
No. And I just keep thinking Celestials because he's called Celestian.
Also, Desperados is a great Desperados. It's a great film, and Desperados is a great beer.
Drink. When you said strange silver box, I thought it was going to be the gyro, and that was actually based on what was going to happen next.
What's in the box?
So you've got Grey's reptilians and a Spanish Gimp all working together here. Or is the Gimp just there, like coming out of the sex room?
Grey's reptilians and Antonio Banderas.
In a Gimp suit. With a V-shaped hat.
Mm-hmm.
So there's symbols on the suit and a strange hat. So I'm saying that the Spanish Gimp is part of the crew rather than just another person there. That's a special Gimp suit.
That is.
This is basically like a swingers party, an intergalactic swingers party, and the Falcons have been in the wrong place at the wrong time. The aliens think that the Falcons are up for it. They've taken them, they've put the baby to one side, or the toddler to one side. See, this is why I started chuckling earlier on when you said there was a man shouting and a woman shouting. I thought they were just going to be banging, and then it wasn't that at all. Or it could have been, and it turns out it probably was.
Maybe
this has been a roller coaster of emotion.
Too loud.
I think at this point it's safe to say that I've got no idea where this one is going.
The tight-fitting suited human spoke to the other aliens via telepathy.
Knew it.
But Celestian could not only hear the conversation, but he could understand it too.
It's 4.
The Greys had been diving in a deep swamp to look for a device. The silver box which they found was part of that device.
The Allspark.
The human ordered them to do another search.
The Gimp, come on. Say it as it is.
Celestian was taken to another room by 2 small Greys, but not the 2 small Greys. He saw another alien human, just like the one in the tight suit. Again, they were talking telepathically. This time he was telling the Greys to be careful, as some of the humans were fighting back. As he passed through the engine room, he saw an atom core casting a glow in the room. The creature working in the room quickly ushered them through. Celestian again was moved from that room back into a previous room like a fucking room skipper. And in the main room, there was panic. Allegedly, truthfully, the craft had been found and they were coming to destroy them. But Celestian had no idea who they were. Amongst the chaos, he heard that it would be approximately 12 minutes before they were found. And he noticed on another screen that 2 US fighter jets had appeared. A few of the creatures were glued to the monitor watching the jets.
What the hell is going on? Where has this case been hiding? What? Celestian is 4 years old, correct?
Correct.
How the frick does Celestian know what an atom core is? Or what it looks like?
He's a clever 4-year-old.
Clever? He's a frickin' genius. Mensa mother trucker. What? What makes how do they know they're US fighter jets for a start?
No, he knows they're US fighter jets.
Yeah.
He sees them.
How does he know they're US fighter jets?
You just said he was a genius. Of course he knows what a US fighter jet looks like.
But he noticed them on a screen.
Yeah.
Is that not like radar? Or is it like a
No, they had
camera?
like camera.
That seems
style
pretty
screen.
basic tech for a craft that's come from another solar system or galaxy or dimension.
While shit was kicking off,
And it really
Grey
was
Knights,
kicking off, wasn't it? My gosh.
Celestian Falcon was looking around and saw in another room Some creatures were wearing ominous black hoods
We've got a cult as well now.
and seemed to be old. Much, much older than the others.
Sex cult.
The creatures had a plan, and that plan was to travel back in time to the point before they were picked up on radar. Celestian was placed on a slabbing table and strapped down. He then blacked out. This is possibly when they went back in time.
What? What? They went back in time? How does Celestian know that was their plan? Were they telling the 4-year-old? Why were they telling the 4-year-old?
He could understand and hear them telepathically.
How does he remember it?
They were talking amongst themselves and he could tell what was going on.
I don't remember what I was doing when I was 6, let alone 4.
You're not Celestian, bitch.
You don't know that?
Maybe Celestian is the reincarnation of sweet baby Jesus.
Sweet baby Jesus. It's not quite as preacher vibe as it was earlier. I'm just telling you. Just letting you know.
Look up more husky. Oh, sweet baby Jesus.
The floor's starting to vibrate as you talk now.
When Celestian woke up, everything was calm again. He would drift in and out of consciousness, and in between waking and passing out, he would see operations that were taking place on others and also on himself.
Oh, no.
During one such episode, he saw a circular ring of lights swirl around his body. During another episode, one of the reptilians looked to be operating on him. He could feel a pull on his stomach and then a sensation as an alien reptilian's fingers were reaching inside of him.
Oh, you don't need that, do you? He's 4. Leave the boy alone. Wait, were they curing something or were they sticking something in there? Or were they just having a fiddle to see what was in
We
there?
don't know.
We don't know. I mean, this is very, very unpleasant. Is it Celestian recounting this tale or is it Celestian's parents? Or do we cover that later?
This is him.
Got a vivid imagination, hasn't he? This is mad.
I think you'll find what he has is...
Genius level intellect and
No.
recall.
what do they call it when you... Eidetic memory.
Idiotic memory. Do we find out who was coming for them?
Oh, it was the US fighter jets.
Well, no, you said someone else was coming for them and we didn't know who it was.
Oh, yeah, but then he sees the screen. It was the US fighter jets.
Oh, I thought there was fighter jets as well.
No, they were what was coming.
Oh, well, that isn't so bad. Why do they need to go back in time to get away from them?
They went back in time to the point before they were noticed.
But why bother? Why not just bugger off? They're not going to keep up with you, are they?
But maybe they didn't want to leave yet. Remember, they were still trying to look for some type of device. They still had greys in the swamp, maybe.
Ah. Well, even so, couldn't they just hide and they do a quick circle of the block and come back and pick them up?
We don't know what
This
their
craft
capability is.
It must be more capable than US fighter jets if it's not of this world.
Can't
Because it's
risk
got
it
to
shot
this
down.
world.
Might be a transporter.
Even so, it's got to this world. It has to be more advanced.
Might not be able to fight, though.
It doesn't need to. It
Might
can
not
run.
have any weaponry.
Doesn't need to fight. It can leg it.
Might be slow. Might not be able to take damage.
Presumably, if it is slow, these things must themselves be borderline invincible because it would have travelled billions of years to get here if it's not quick.
Maybe that's the case.
Can I call up Celestian and ask him a few questions?
Sure, but do it after. A new figure appeared beside Celestian and appeared to be very angelic.
How do you appear angelic?
The angelic figure also claimed that it was sent by God.
God's in this now? What? My mind's going to explode.
The angelic figure ordered the reptilian to put him back.
What's God going to say about the Gimp?
The reptilian agreed, but was threatened again. Put the child back now and let them go, or you will be destroyed. After that threat left their lips, they vanished. The reptilian was shook, turned to Celestian and asked, "What are you?"
Oh no. It's going to be one of those bloody...
As Celestian blacked out, he heard the reptilian order the Greys to find the angelic one and bring it back to him.
What do they call him? Star Child?
The next time Celestian awoke, he and his family were being taken back to their car. His parents were in a trance-like state. They then awoke from it, with Mama Falcon screaming at his father to step on it. Celestian looked out the back window and saw the creatures get back onto the craft, and then watched as the craft flew off. His parents never mentioned it again, but it wouldn't be the last time he saw these creatures. Whenever they would arrive, his parents would be in a trance-like state.
Oh no.
These creatures would walk through the house and sometimes through walls at his family home. It's not clear at all what they wanted, but maybe it was to see the angelic figure again. Now this is the part of the probe where we turn to science and skepticism.
I'm looking forward to the science part of this one.
Time travel. When they went back in time, did they change anything to stop being found by the the US fighter jets? And did the change have a butterfly effect?
Stuff.
For skepticism, as this case has not been probed by any of the heavyweight ufologists, or if it has been, I can't find anything else on it other than the source that I used.
Where the hell did this one come from?
Do you have any skepticism, Greybeard?
Well,
What?
I've
You
got some
don't?
questions.
Okay.
I want to know about God.
So to summarize,
And I don't want to read the Bible. I want to know if God was part of the crew or if God just turned up to protect Celestian, because Celestian is a very important star child.
he sent an angelic figure. Sweet baby Jesus.
To protect only Celestian and none of the other people getting ripped apart on this.
What if Celestian is the reincarnation of little sweet baby Jesus?
Well, what if? I'm still interested that
That's why God would have stepped in.
an all-knowing and loving superpower would happily let a bunch of other people get pickled in jars and decides to save only one.
What if?
I mean, I'm absolutely fine with this all happening. My issue is with God in this story, not the aliens.
What if God is like a guardian for the realm? Like he's Earth's guardian.
Like
And
Thor.
every other planet has another guardian, and these ones are interfering with his, and he's like, leave or be destroyed. Like they've managed to slip beyond his defenses all these other times.
He was on the
'Cause he's
crapper,
been-
or he's
he's
watching
been
TV and didn't
Looking somewhere
realise.
else.
Yeah, didn't realise they were on their way.
His
Was eating a bit of
gaze.
popcorn and suddenly was like checking his settings and whatnot. It's, oh, nothing now. I'll have another beer. Oh shit!
His gaze was elsewhere, like Sauron's eye.
They've pickled 16 children. Fuck! It's on my watch.
Or he's got things going on in other realms, and maybe he made a wager, lost the wager. That's why the first lot were taken. Now they're like taking the piss, coming back in while his back's turned. Gone away, of course.
This one was never really on course.
It was.
There isn't a course. This one has been in the rough.
So to summarise, we have the story of Celestian Falcon, who was travelling with his parents to their new home when they realised they were being chased by a UFO. After trying to escape, their car stopped working. His dad got out, ready to square up, but got shook the moment the craft seemed to go straight for him. He got back in, tried to start the car, but it didn't work, and they were taken. This is when he should have called Liam Neeson. Celestian was taken in different rooms throughout the craft. He saw otherworldly beings once inside, from reptilians to greys, and even humanoids. He also heard other humans aboard the craft and could hear their terrified screams. It would appear that the alien creatures could communicate through telepathy, but shockingly, Celestian could not only hear them,
Indigo Child.
but could understand them.
I was trying to think what they call themselves. It's Indigo Child, isn't it?
Yeah, I think Star Child might be another one.
Another name for the same thing.
Allegedly, truthfully, they were searching for a device within a swamp, but only found part of it. They were spotted and targeted by US Air Force jets at one point, and utilised time travel to go back in time to the point before they were spotted.
Completely unnecessary.
Celestian was placed on a slab during this time, and when he came to, he would go in and out of consciousness several times. But during the times he was conscious, he could see and feel himself being operated on. And the most important of these times, possibly with reptilian fingers inside his stomach, an angelic figure appeared and threatened the reptilian to let him go and his family. This scared the shit out of the reptilian. Celestian and his family were released and placed back in their car. Once they came out of their trance, they sped off and never spoke of it again. Over the years, though Celestian would be visited by otherworldly beings, they wouldn't communicate with him, but would walk around his house and also through the walls. At the times this would happen, his parents would be in a trance-like state. Grey nuts. Do you feel deep within your heart of hearts that this was aliens?
Well, this kid is clearly a genius Indigo Child special person.
There we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Aliens.
I had a thought. What was my thought? Did this kid have, and this is disgusting, and I'm sorry, my mind's going here, and I don't want to lay shade on people and I know nothing about them, but we don't know much about them either. Did the parents go to some sort of swingers party?
No idea.
And leave the kid like in the car or in a back room, and this kid heard/saw some real nasty stuff. Hopefully it's not that one. We haven't discussed the possibility of overactive imagination, unchecked child madness, dreams thinking they're real, bullshit. I'm going to go with that one.
So, you mentioned earlier about the body being stuffed in the boot.
Yes.
So when I was originally writing this up, I thought that maybe he had seen the police chasing down someone.
Oh.
And this person was trying to get rid of the evidence or hide whoever was in the car with him.
Okay, so trauma.
And yeah, he was surrounded by those 5 people. Now that I've gone through the rest of the case, I mean, it could be really mad. I'm just throwing out like scenarios. A kidnapping.
Yeah.
Maybe his parents were into something dodgy. They were doing something with the wrong people. Those people came after them. That's why they had to flee, but they were caught. And this is a way of blocking out the terrible things that may have happened over, like, during that time. Could have been a day or several hours, and this is just what he did to block that time out.
Yeah, the mind is an interesting thing, isn't it? Protect itself.
Yeah, going through different rooms, could have just been going through a house, or like, I don't know why I'm thinking like Mexican jail. I don't know how close Mexico is to Florida.
You've got Desperado in your head.
Maybe they were holding him in one room while, I don't know, beating the parents or other people that had wronged them in another room.
You're going down a real dark alley here.
Yeah.
I don't want to join you. I'm trying to stay in the light.
Okay, Lord, sweet baby Jesus.
Save me, sweet baby Jesus. Save me. One quick question. We didn't mention what year this was. Any ideas?
If I can recall, it's like 1968, I believe.
Okay, so could LSD or other forms of drugs be...
4 years old.
Yeah. 60s.
Maybe he took drugs later in life and that's what came out of it.
Maybe, yeah. Again, don't do drugs.
So are you saying that this is aliens?
No. Flat no. Are you saying that it's aliens?
No. I think it's more likely to be a made-up story. Someone's just having fun, or someone went to regression therapy and this is what came out whilst they were in it. But I don't believe any of this to be alien in nature.
What was the source?
It
It wasn't like a book, was it?
No, website.
Yeah, this felt to me, and it may well not have been, but like, you know, on Reddit where people post those stories, like in the, what's it called? No Sleep or something, where it's a story to keep people engaged and whatnot, but it's not really real.
Oh, okay.
I forget what the subreddit is, but yeah, so they post like a bit more every other day or whatever. And this just grows and grows and gets crazier and crazier. But I don't get the sense that the teller of this story necessarily believes what they're telling. They're not trying to throw...
It just got more and more outlandish the way it went.
Yeah, it just got crazier and crazier, like someone trying to outdo themselves each new paragraph.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of the sense that I got. Like I say, whether it's accurate or not, I don't know, but not aliens for me, I'm afraid.
No, me neither.
Probably the maddest case we've covered in a good while, though. Why was there a bloody gimp? That played no part in the story. That's a completely unnecessary detail. Just a Spanish gimp waltzing around the ship. What?
He was in charge.
And then he's like, how can I one-up a gimp? I know, God.
Thank you for joining us for this week's probe. As always, you can find us on our socials at But It Was Aliens. That's Instagram, Facebook, and...
On the Twitter!
now known as X.
X-Twitter!
Our Facebook group.
Twitter! On the Twitter!
Extraterrestrial Towers, and for less than a coffee, you can also find us on Patreon / But It Was Aliens, where we probe much, much more outside the realms of the extraterrestrial, such as ghosts, reincarnation, pegging, Rasputin's dick, pegging, and much, much more.
That conversation.
As always, I have been the Walker of Moons, and he is the grey-bearded one.
Indeed.
Remember, the truth is up there. #probe. I think if I tried it, my voice would just break halfway through it.
On X-Twitter!
Swim baby Jesus. Saying in a probe.